Welcome back, everyone. This is Dave and Stacie from Quorum Productions. We have special guest Jamie McGuire here
Hey
with us
guys,
today. Jamie, welcome to the channel.
no
Uh,
problem. Thank
Jamie,
you very much for having me.
Jamie has four credits on four different projects. Most notably, 6 episodes of From as Smiley. He also has some uncredited work as well. So, Jamie, welcome to the channel. Um, tell me, Jamie, how did you get your start in acting?
Well, ever since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be an actor. And shortly after I graduated high school, I decided to go to school in Toronto. And once I started acting school in Toronto, I went back to Halifax and started work there.
Awesome. Your character became quite popular in From, like to the point where people were upset when your character died. Were you surprised at all by the reaction of the fandom to your character?
Yeah, I don't think anyone associated with From ever expected the character Smiley to be so popular or well known.
Was it like a big surprise to you? So like in season two is when you got credited, right? Because they gave you some lines. Was that unexpected?
It was. Actually, from the time I started with From, shortly after the first season ended, I joined the From Facebook groups just so I
Uh-huh.
could see how the show was doing and see well and get caught up on all the latest news. And before I knew it, I just started seeing my face in a few places in a few spots and just started freaking people out everywhere. It's like, who is this guy? Oh my geez, he's scary, that sort of thing. It's like, why do I have this as my screensaver? Better yet, why did I check it at 3 a.m.? Is what someone posted once.
That's funny. Um, Kind of an aside from that, like so it was really like people rec started, picking you out among all of the creatures during season one. And then in season two, you got like this bigger role. They even put you on the cover art. Like
Yeah, that was
Was that
amazing.
was
That's a
that a
huge honor.
surprise? Did you know that was going to happen, or did you just see it when everybody else saw it?
I had no idea it
We actually have
was
it
going to
right
happen
here.
until it actually happened.
So there's the season two cover art. You are front and center. Well, back and center, but
Yeah, no, I've seen it for sure, but until I was actually there to do it, I didn't know it was going to happen.
yeah, that's got to be something
It
to
really
go from
is.
being, background to all of a sudden you're like front and center on the poster.
Yeah, no, that was amazing.
So speaking of which, do you find yourself after playing Smiley getting recognized more,
A
like
little
out in
bit.
public and stuff?
Actually, just recently, I'd come back from a trip from Halifax to Newfoundland. I was getting ready to board a plane when all of a sudden this woman stops me. She looks at me. It's like, wait, it's you, right? You're him. You're Smiley, right? So, not knowing how to react, I said, "Yes, hi, I'm Jamie. Nice to meet you." It's like, "Can I get a picture with you, please?" And I was like, "Sure, no problem." And then while other people were getting on board the plane, she was literally stopping them and going, "Okay, you know who this is, right?" It's like, do you not know who this is? It's like, have you not seen From? You know who this is?
That's
You
amazing.
didn't have to reassure anybody that you were not going to like tear them apart or anything like that, did you?
Come again?
You didn't have to reassure people that you weren't going to kill them or anything like that, did you?
Here and there, but they know I'm basically offset. I'm mostly harmless. So,
I
especially
like
when
the
I've had a big enough supper. So it's like, it's okay. I had a big steak. I'm fine. So,
I like the word mostly there. Mostly harmless. That's good.
no
Um,
worries. I'm good.
so all right, so in the first one of the first episodes of season two, you get on the bus, you start messing around with the bus, play with the horn, turn the keys. What's your take on that scene? Do you think that that's him connecting to his former humanity, or is it just being curious about humanity? Do you have an opinion on that?
I can't really comment on that. I don't want to say anything to give the storyline away.
Right, because you might get in trouble. We definitely don't want that.
Appreciate
Uh,
that.
so what's your favorite line in the series that you said?
Gotta be, you picked a bad spot.
That's a good one.
That's
Yeah,
the one that's been getting the most recognition, and I've seen a few memes here and there with it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And even though I didn't have any lines for it, one of my other favorite scenes was when I'm looking over the staircase in season one with blood dripping down my mouth and just
That's definitely
big-
iconic.
Yeah, I feel like that's where people really started picking you out, from the crowd of creatures.
It's definitely one of the more well-known scenes.
Yeah, definitely.
The ones that tend to freak people out the most.
No, it's definitely a very effective and scary scene. And we were going to ask you to do the Smiley smile, but you've already done it for us a couple of times.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, that's Jamie's real smile.
Yeah.
Now is that what got you picked for the role, do you think?
Possibly. Oh, hang on. Just there we are. Almost lost you there for a second.
Ooh.
No, no worries. Just some advertisement. All right. I would think so. I think the smile is kind of helped what made me stand out a bit more. Because aside from mostly with the face, I've been compared from everything to Joker, Chucky, Howdy Doody, Riddler, at least two versions of the Grinch,
Oh,
and
hadn't
both
thought of
versions
that.
of Pennywise.
You should definitely try out for the Joker if you get a chance to do that. I could definitely see you in the role.
Oh, if they gave me that role, I'd be honored. Yeah.
So, who was your favorite person to work with on Prom?
Everyone I worked with, I'm not sure if I had a favorite person because they were all great to work with, cast and crew. They're just an awesome, amazing team on and off camera. They're professional, they're polite, and they're just fun to be around.
Is there anybody that you didn't get a chance to work with that you would have liked to work with?
I didn't get to work with everyone associated with From, but everyone that I did get to work with, I'm glad I got to meet and work with them.
Um, hmm.
Sorry, I just lost in here these notes a little bit.
Oh, someone I forgot to shout out at the top. I forgot to shout out the fact that Faith Shavs is actually the one that introduced us and so got us this interview. So shout out to her. And on that note, I'm curious if you ever had a chance to work with Faith in any projects.
Yes, we've worked on a few projects together, actually. We actually first met when we were both doing background for Moonshine a little while back.
Okay.
Yeah, and sure enough, we met and we've been friends ever since.
Sweet deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I incorrectly in my Sinner podcast earlier today said that you got credited for that role, but as it turns out, you didn't get credited for it. It was just something that you happened to mention to us, and I kept that in
Right.
my mind. But yeah, Moonshine has like almost all the Nova Scotian like acting troupe in it at one point or another,
For
including
sure.
several actors from Prom.
Come again?
Yeah, Moonshine is one of those series that has like almost every actor that is in Nova Scotia in it at one point or another.
For sure.
Yeah, we see that one popping up a lot on people's filmographies.
Moonshine?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a few people I've met with through Moonshine, I've met through with other projects, including From.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you have anything particular, like a story about getting cast into From? Like what was that initial like your first experience with From?
Well, I saw this on a casting website,
Mhm.
and so there was a chance to apply for being a nightmare creature. So sure enough, I applied for it. Was lucky enough to be accepted as a nightmare creature. And actually, this happened right after my work with Sinner. I found out I was going to be starting my work on From.
Oh, that's great. So we're definitely going to ask you about that. So well, I might as well just do that now. The Sinner,
Sure.
which is a show we're currently covering. We're covering The Sinner season 4, particularly because it does have so many of the actors, that we've been seeing in From, and we cover Sullivan's Crossing. You haven't been in Sullivan's Crossing, have you?
I was on Sullivan's Crossing. I was in background of that as well.
You were. Do you know what episode?
Not off the top of my head.
Or what
Sorry.
the scene was about? Like, was it at the campground, or was it indoors, or?
It was mostly an indoor public setting, or mostly an outdoor public setting. It wasn't a campground scene.
Okay, so we're gonna have to go back and look for you. we'll find you. So we're covering The Sinner, and I'm so proud of myself for this because I'm usually like really bad with people, right? Like recognizing people. and I'm taking my notes for, and what episode was that?
Oh, it was like
3,
3 or 4, I think.
whatever episode
Yeah.
you're in of The Sinner. I'm taking my notes, and I watch a few lines and I pause it and then I type. And so it's a party scene,
Right.
or like a club, right?
Yeah, the club scene. Yeah.
And I was like, recognize that smile. And I like stopped, I rewound. I was like, I think that's Jamie McGuire. So I messaged you right away. I was like, were you in The Sinner? And you're like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm so proud of myself for like being able to recognize you, right? Because it was really quick. It was just like a couple of frames, but it was the smile. So the smile made it into the scene, and that's why I was able to just pick you out so quickly.
Wasn't sure if it was the bright red hair or the smile that would catch it. So
Right. And so we'll have to go back to Sullivan's. And do you know if it was in season 1 or 2?
I really couldn't say.
Okay, because we haven't seen season 2 yet. We're in the States. Season 2 hasn't released here yet.
Okay, it would probably be season 1, most likely. Not sure.
Okay. We're gonna have to go back and scrutinize those scenes and look for you.
So, speaking of that scene, what was filming that dancing scene like?
No, it was good. It was fun. Just got to meet some new and exciting people, and I was glad to be part of such a great show, because after I did it, I started binge watching it on Netflix. I'm like, this is a really cool show. I'm glad I got to be there.
Yeah, just it was after that I recognized you in that scene, that I really started thinking about like what it takes to put on a production of that size, when there's like 100 background actors involved in a scene. Like that has to be something, right?
It is.
How long does it take to film a scene like that? Like, I know it was just a minute of the episode that these characters were at this place. Do you know, like, how long were you on set for?
Right. In all honesty, I'm really not sure how long it was. I enjoy myself that much. It's easy enough for me to lose track of time, especially when I'm enjoying the work and just being part of such a great industry. I honestly couldn't tell you how long I was there for.
I mean, I imagine the more people involved, the longer it takes, right?
Absolutely.
To get everybody to do what they're supposed to be doing.
Now, were they playing actual music for you to dance to, or did you just have to pretend like you're hearing music and dance?
I'm pretty sure I heard actual music.
Okay.
So.
May or may not have been the music that ended up in
the
episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just curious.
And just on that scene for one more minute, Alice Kremmelberg was in that scene. The character,
Percy.
Title character from that season, Percy. Did you get to speak with her at all or interact with her?
There wasn't much interaction with the stars and actors of the show, but
yeah,
I was glad to just see everyone and be a part of it.
All right. So backtracking to From a little bit here.
Yeah, that's really what we're here to talk about.
No worries.
Were you on set as a corpse? Like, did you play your dead body?
Yes, I was actually on set for both the body on the ground and when they were doing the autopsy.
Wow.
What's it like to have an autopsy performed on you?
Pretty fun. Believe it or not, even during the autopsy, I freaked out a few people.
Yeah,
I bet.
Especially because during the scene, I have to twitch for a reflex while they're performing the autopsy. So during the autopsy, I just do a quick reflex with my fingers, and everyone's supposed to be surprised and freaked out. One of the actors, they were genuinely freaked out by it. It's like, geez.
Did they forget you were really there?
Well, it was just that freaky. It's just whew.
Right. Yeah. So what was the setup for that? Were you under the table?
Oh no, I was lying right on it.
Oh
wow.
No,
it was just
all of the prosthetics were just on top of you?
I just got to lie down, and no, it was fun. I just got to lie down, take it easy, and then just move my hand and twitch on cue so I could freak people out.
Hey, I can personally attest that you freaked me out during that scene, so well done.
Yeah. And it was like,
I'll take that as a compliment. So
it was one where you're in like full makeup too, right? So you have like the long fingernails on for that.
Oh yeah, the huge long fingernails, the stuff on my face. And there was another fun story where I was lying on the ground. It had to be one of the warmest days while we were shooting. And anyone who knows me knows I love warm weather. And then one of the actors, they look down, it's just, dude, you must be roasting, are you? It's just like, well, it's like, nope, I'm basking. This is perfect. Nope, I'm no, I'm good. I get to enjoy the nice weather, some fresh air and sunlight, and I got all the stuff on me, so I know I won't get sunburned. So especially with my skin and hair, there's
Right.
no tanning. It's either you're pale, you're as red as a lobster, or if you're really lucky, you'll get a little bit of pink.
Yep.
So with this,
I'm right there with you. I get it.
So what other uncredited work did you work on? What other shows or movies did you appear in that you did not get credited for?
oh, well, uncredited first was Sullivan's Crossing, Sinner, Moonshine, a few other ones, and 22 minutes I've done twice.
Oh, okay.
As one is uncredited, another one as credited.
Hmm. Were you the same person, or were you
Oh
basically?
no, I was different people.
Okay.
Yeah, there was two. Yeah, there was two episodes. There was one where I was uncredited. There was one scene where they're throwing Alberta beef at one of the actors, right? So we each got handed a steak and just threw it, and we just got to throw it. It's like, and I was a little concerned because I was almost worried my steak was going to hit someone. Because I mean, they give you a raw steak, they just throw it at, and then the second one was during a party scene where I was as a guest.
Nice.
So, yeah, so I've been on 22, and the first job, I wouldn't say it was background or extra. It was the first job I ever did. This was going back 10 years now. It was a history documentary called The Neanderthal Apocalypse.
I saw that. I saw that you were in 2 episodes of that.
That was my first job on set, my first job ever.
Mm. It looked
Yeah, and
interesting.
I had a really fun time doing that too.
Hmm. It looked interesting. I kind of want to check that out. I'm not sure if I could watch it anywhere, but yeah, because
Well,
we're
the
in
hair
the
was
States.
well, the beard was fake, and my hair was a lot longer back then. So,
Yeah, I've seen some pictures of you with the long hair. Still recognizable though.
thank you. Yeah.
So among all of these projects, like, do you have a favorite role that you've done? I'm gonna guess Smiley, but let's say other than Smiley.
Oh, that's gonna be tough because Smiley so far has been a definite first for me, and I
Yeah.
did enjoy. And my other favorites, really, I enjoyed everything, but the two that stand out for me the most were 22 minutes and the Neanderthal Apocalypse, because the first one you've ever done usually stands out
Mhm.
as one of the most or one of your favorites that you've done because it's where you get your start.
So, where would you like to see your career go? Would you like to just stay in acting, or would you like to do some directing, or so on and so forth? Anything like that?
No, I would love to do more acting. I'd also in the near future like to do conventions as well.
You know, you certainly can now because
Oh, I
let me
would love
tell
to.
you,
I'd leave it. Oh, go on.
you are a very recognizable part of the Frumily. And
Thank
From
you.
definitely is starting to make appearances in conventions. I've been seeing some stuff pop up about that. And I think the show's only going to keep growing, and as the show grows, the fandom's going to grow. And there's definitely room for you to be a part of that. I think absolutely.
I really appreciate that.
That would
Thanks.
be awesome, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I'd love to be doing conventions and, of course, get more bigger and well-known acting roles in movies and TV shows. And if I'm lucky enough to become a well-known success in the horror movie genre for horror movies and TV shows, that would just be an honor and an added bonus as well.
You're a
And
horror fan
California's the big-
then?
Come again?
You're a fan of horror?
Oh,
as a
yes.
genre?
Yeah, no, I do like, and what's funny is, despite being known for a horror character, my favorite holiday is actually Christmas, but Halloween's getting a closer and closer second, so. Because people have seen pictures of me dressed up for Christmas, or anyone who knows me as, it's like he actually looks like that. I don't know if this is less scary or more scary. So.
Yeah, I know what picture you're talking about. That's your profile picture, right?
For
On
now, it
Facebook
is, yeah.
You're referencing.
Yeah.
Awesome suit, by the way.
Right? Oh, thank you. Yeah. I have a few. Yeah, I got at least one or two of those. So yeah, I like to dress up for holidays a bit too. So well, a little bit fun. Well, I'm a bit of a holiday fanatic.
So you need to be in a Christmas movie playing a horror character.
There you go.
Hey, if Tim Burton ever, well, if I'm ever lucky enough to be called by Tim Burton, I'm not going to say no. So, and when I look back, even movies that aren't necessarily associated with Christmas, it's actually amazing how many action movies or other scary movies revolve around Christmas. So
Die
when I look at them,
Hard.
it's like, okay, this is awesome. It's like I wouldn't say no to action movies either, Christmas or not. So, but I mean, if anyone's looking for a horror movie, well, I'd certainly love to be a part of horror movies for sure.
Is there any specific genre of horror that you like the most?
I wouldn't say no because I love basically all different horror, I wouldn't say genres, but different decades of it, back from say the 20s and 30s to as recently as this year. Because for me, the horror icons, since I began to grow liking the horror industry more and more, because when I was younger, I never grew up with it because it freaked out my parents way too much. So it's like, okay, it's like, all right, for my parents, wait till I'm old enough to actually watch it in case I get too freaked out or anything that happens. Then afterwards, I'm like, oh, okay, it's like I love the movies, but nothing thankfully really freaks me out that much. But I love all the classics going back from the times with Boris Karloff, Vincent Price, or Christopher Lee to Halloween, Friday the 13th, Child's Play, all
You
those
two would get
ones.
along real well.
Say again. Oh, and I
Yes.
do like the Scream movies.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm
And
a
I
big
do.
horror fan.
Oh, you too? Awesome.
I can definitely see you finding a niche, within the horror within the horror genre.
I
Um,
appreciate that. Thanks.
would you be worried about being typecast after this role being so big, or are you good with that if that happens?
No, I wouldn't say worried. I was, I'm glad to know that I would always hopefully be a candidate for horror movies. And if someone auditioned me or hired me for other movie genres, I wouldn't say no to that either.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't say I'm really worried about anything. I'm just glad to have been part of such a great show and to be recognized and well known for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And well known, I think you are. Like you said, you're in the Facebook groups, and like all the time we see people just randomly like talking about you. And it's funny because half of the people, I don't think they know that you're like in the groups watching.
Actually, some people do. Sometimes I've seen this going back a while. They've actually commented on my character or Jamie, the actor, and a few replies. It's like, guys, he's actually in this group.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what? It's like, okay, maybe watch what we say. It's like, oh, no worries, because sometimes I get tagged on comments from compliments or were you in this? And really, I'm just glad to have received such great compliments from everyone,
Yeah.
from people I've worked with to people who are on the groups to Instagram followers, be it here in Canada, the US, and everywhere. And I shouldn't say I don't know about everywhere, but different parts of the world.
There's definitely huge followings throughout the world. I mean, I don't know specifically where, but we've seen, people posting from all over the world. And it's crazy.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
and I love it. And that's why I would love to do conventions too, because I love the industry and I love traveling.
Mm.
Be it Canada, the US, and even a few, and really a lot of Europe among a few other places are on my bucket list. Because I would love to do that too. And I actually learned a few languages because before COVID hit, a lot of Europe was, but it still is on my bucket list.
Mhm.
So one day when I'm lucky enough, I'd love to do it and just see all the different places. And if I get to do that while I'm working, it's win-win, whether I'm working or not. I'd love to see it. But if I get to visit those places while I'm working or while I'm doing conventions, that's even better.
Right. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan.
So, is there any work
That's a
that
dream.
you're particularly proud of that you've done?
Work that I'm proud of.
Yes.
You know, I would say I'm proud of everything I've done. Some more than others, but I can honestly say every project I've worked on has been just an amazing experience. And you get to learn certain aspects of the industry, you get to meet new people, whether you're there for a day, whether you're working with them for weeks or a month or so. I'm just grateful to have met everyone that I've worked with. Oh, and another project I forgot to mention, my fault. I was a body double for Lock and Key.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you mentioned that to us before. I watched that show, so I was just racking my head, like I'm trying to figure out how that works. I don't remember the characters exactly because it's been a while, but
I was the son's friend's double.
okay.
I was in the scene where he and the mom are driving in the car. So, and it was actually interesting because it was the same year I was doing Sinner in the first season of From, and then I forget exactly when this was. I think it was around late August, give or take. I get a call out of nowhere, and so not knowing what's going on, I pick up the phone and they say, "Hey, Jamie," and I don't know who this person, and I didn't know who this person was at the time, but somehow they knew me, and I said, "Hey, Jamie, would you like to be a part of this project?" I was like, "Oh," and I was speechless for a couple of seconds. I said, "No, sure, sounds great. Just let me know, and not a problem. I'll be there." And I always say, whenever I get auditions, sign me up, suit me up, tell me when and where. I'll be there with bells on. So I love the industry that much. It makes no difference to me how many hours I work, be it because in this industry I've been everywhere. I've been everything from an early bird to a night owl.
Mhm.
I mean, I've had days where I've had to get up at 3:30 to go to work. I've had days where I've had to go to bed just after 3:30. So
So you have to be flexible.
yeah, that's not a problem for me. It's just no problem, not at all. And it's like, don't worry about it. I can keep myself awake easy enough, and I just love it. And plus, I always find whenever I'm doing something, such a fun project, all the projects have been fun. I'm that adrenalized. I almost never sit down while I'm taking a break because I always want to be ready for when I'm called back.
I mean, with that kind of attitude, I'd imagine you get like lots and lots of roles and opportunities.
I appreciate that, but that is my mindset. I mean, it's great to get all these roles, but I also just want to be energized for whenever they're called because I really don't like because I'm always worried if I sit down for a long time, I'll end up being too tired.
Mhm.
So what I always do if I'm not needed, I'll walk around and say in a safe place where I won't be bothering anyone, or just look at certain things or some aspects of whatever project I'm on, because I find I'm most awake. I find with anyone when they're most awake, I'm enthused, I'm interested, and basically I'm ready to work, ready to go. And I've had such fun on certain projects. The biggest challenge for me is when I get back home trying to fall asleep because I'm not hyped up and excited from when I'm done. It's like, okay, I know the adrenaline's going to wear off eventually, but it's not kicked in yet, but it hasn't worn off yet.
That's cool. And then do you like eagerly await to see these projects once they're completed and look for yourself?
Whenever they're completed, I'm always eager to find out when they're going to be released.
All right. Do we have any other questions before asking our final one?
I think we're ready.
Okay. So, is there anything that you are working on currently that you would like to promote?
Sorry, I can't comment on that right now, but
Okay.
Oh,
I'm really glad that you guys had me on for this podcast. I really appreciate the opportunity.
It's
And
definitely
I'm
glad to have
really
you.
glad to have met you guys. And please give Faith my best as well. And
We'll do.
yeah,
it's
and
been
I really
great having
appreciate
you.
it.
We really appreciate you taking some time to talk with us. And great stuff that we've seen you in so far. We look forward to seeing your face in the future. And I'm sure that we
Thank you.
will, because I'm sure you have a bright future ahead of you.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Because yeah, I think that you're going places with this, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. That
And we
really
look
means a
forward to it.
lot
And
to
when
me.
you're a
Thank
big
you.
star, you're going to have to come back and visit us again. And don't forget about us.
I appreciate that. I never forget those who've helped me out, who've been good and kind to me. I really appreciate you guys taking the time for the podcast. I never forget anyone who's helped me, and I'm really grateful that you guys had me on for this.
Well, thank you. It's definitely been a pleasure having you. Yeah. Take care.
All right, thanks. You too. All the best.
Thank you, Jamie.
No worries. Have a good one.
And that was our conversation with Jamie McGuire. Some good stuff as usual.
Jamie McGuire, Smiley monster himself from
that was fun.
Present on the season 2 cover art for From. He had a lot of fun things to tell us about.
And he even was saying stuff after we had stopped the interview.
We were still chatting for a while.
So that was also
so
fun.
Jamie's a great guy, and thanks again, Faith, for introducing us to Jamie. And he was a little secretive about a few things, which I get that he can't tell us everything, but that makes me feel like there's things
in the works.
There's things that he can't tell us.
Oh, top secret
right
stuff.
So it's exciting that there's things.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be on the lookood for those things. All right, so those projects. All right, so Stacie, we would like to hear from you. What do you think of this interview? What do you think of the podcast in general? What are your thoughts on the upcoming season of From? Stacie, have we reached at?
I can reach on Twitter, X, Instagram, and Threads at TVN Coupon Talk.
If you like this video and want to support the channel, there are more ways to do so. You can join my Corn Productions Facebook pages. You can follow me on Core Productions at Twitter. You can buy something from the Corn Productions store on Zazzle. You can buy me a coffee. You can join the Corn Productions membership for 99 cents a month. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video, as well as subscribing to our channel, as well as hitting that bell notification so you get notified when our new videos drop. This is Dave and Stacie from Corn Productions, signing off.